few hours back, you are saying that the charges against Adani Group and particularly Gautam Adani is legally unsustainable and are likely to be dismissed. Why are you saying so, sir?
See, it seems to me that there has been a sustained campaign on the part of a few perhaps very motivated individuals to besmirch the reputations of certain individuals in India, certain business persons and certain business enterprises. And in my understanding that one of these charges, which is wire fraud, is being unnecessarily trumped up and sensationalized in India by certain public commentators. But if you look at the law and what the law of wire fraud actually says, that makes it very clear that mere deception on the part of a person who's alleged to have committed it is not nearly enough. There should have been actual loss. There has to be an intention to defraud a party. In this case, even if you accept or you take these allegations at the very highest that the US prosecutors have made in their indictment, even in that case, there is this presupposition that bribery has happened, and therefore any funds or financing that has been taken from American institutional investors amounted to fraud and therefore should be prosecuted for wire fraud. This is absolutely bogus. This is wrong. This is not what the law says in the US at all. There are multiple judgments, as the one which I have quoted in my tweet, which make it absolutely clear that deception by itself or an allegation that you have lied by itself is not enough to bring home the charge of wire fraud. There has to have been an intention, firstly, and some actual loss to have happened, which hasn't happened in this case. And the other point, which is very important, is that the nature of the bargain, you have to see whether the nature of the bargain was actually met or not. In this case, you had US institutional investors who invested in a multi-billion-dollar business, which has many assets, presumably in India and around the world. And if the assumption is that because some executive in that large corporation may have committed some criminal acts or bribery or anything else, that does not mean that the financing that was taken from the US institutional investors was done on the back of some large conspiracy or some conspiracy to run a business on the basis of bribery. That, to my mind, is an absolutely ridiculous assertion. And I don't think if these charges go to trial in the US, no jury will sustain such charges. So this is my view. I think this is being done to not only sensationalize an issue, but to deliberately bring down the stock price of a certain business house. Maybe it is for some ulterior motives. I'm sure the investigating agencies will get to the bottom of that. But as things stand today, I can very confidently say no court in the United States will sustain these wire fraud charges on the basis of the material that we have seen in the indictment.